Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see Viduthalaikkapin Tamil Nadu Varalaatru Samuga Marumalarchi. That is, after independence, how was the reblooming of the society in Tamil Nadu history? Now, Malarchi means blooming. That is something which is very, very fertile, nice, flourishing. And when we say that a society is again blooming, it means that there are many things to realize from this. First is that society should have been something which was flourishing at one time, and because of some reason it should have lost that greatness, and again it is receiving that greatness, says that this is Samuga Marumalarchi, that is re-flourishing or re-blooming of that society. And for a long time, if the society has lost its greatness, then great leaders will join together and cause this re-greatness. And we should see for this how was the Tamil Sangam, that is the Tamil people's life in those days. And we find that they all thought that by birth everyone is equal. And we will not think that based only on the birth that you are a great person or you are a person who is of a lower quality. That was not there in those days. And for this we have Tirukural which says Pirapokkum Ella Uirkum as an example. And king, Andanar, Vanigar, Velalar, they were four types classifications. That Varna Pakapade or Sage Parval, that there was no classification in those days. And everyone's status was decided only on the work profession they were doing. And also, father can do one profession, the son can choose another profession, and his grandson can choose another profession. They had that freedom also. And therefore, your status was not on the basis of your birth, but it was based on your intelligence and your skills. And this we come to know from Purananuru, which says Arivudayon Aru Arasum Sollum. And then we find that education was available for everyone, and there was general education where even the king to the very poor person can go and learn education. And we find this from the pots which we have got from Kiradi in the excavation. In all those pots we find the names of the people written in that, so we understand that education was prevalent among everyone because they knew to read and write. And men and women had equal rights. This we find from women also studying not only education but all the skills equal to men. And for that we have examples Avayar, Ponmudiyar and Okur Masatyar. And in the court, that is the palace court, the queen will sit along with the king in the Ariyanai, in the throne. And women had equal rights in the property. And not only that, they also had rights to rule, and for that we have examples of Rani Mangama, Velu Nachiyar. At the same time, we find that in North India, women never had that, were never given the privilege to rule. And even today, we find in a house, in many houses, the woman is the main person who takes in charge of the household. And even in front of law, everyone were considered equal. And that was the status in those days. For this, we have the example of Pandya Nedunjeliyan was questioned by Kannagi in the court, and she argued against him to prove that her husband was not a thief based on the anklets which he had. From all this we can say so many things, but at the same time we should also understand that in those days they had the habit of Udankatta Erudal, that is Sati, where the wife will be made to burn along with the husband in his pyre after his death. This information is given to us by in Puram. And at the same time, loving a girl and later on saying I don't know this girl was also there, which we come to know from Agam. So all these negative things also were prevalent in those days. And the reason for the fall of all these great values is during Pallava's reign. This status was given according to the birth of the person, that is, to whom you are born decided your status in the society. And it was that time where we have a lot of caste and creeds entering into the society, and because of that itself we can say the Tamil society started degrading, and also people started getting lots of superstitious beliefs, and because of this they had a lot of fear, and they also had the habit of bending down in front of others. And there was a lot of Aryanization. That is, we have a lot of difference in the events like marriage and other events. We started following the Aryans, and even Sanskritam also started dominating people. They started naming the children with the names like Rajarajan and Varman and all that, and Tamil people started facing attacks from other cultural influences also, like music and worship and even in education. And Tamil people started thinking great about others culture and foreign languages. They thought they are greater than they own, and because of this we can say that Tamil society started losing its greatness. And what all caused the reasons, what are the reasons for the reblooming of the Tamil society is, when English people came from Britain, they also had the influence on the Tamil society. And when Christian people came, they started trying to spread Christianity here. And this what happened is, Tamil people, they also started learning English language and also following Christianity. But in 17th and 18th century, we find that whatever happened in Ethiopia, that started showing a lot of influence in Tamil Nadu also, in the society and also in religion. In 18th and 19th century, we find that though there were very few people who knew English very well, they were very popular and powerful in the society and also in politics. And these people thought that they should bring in a change in the Tamil Nadu, because Tamil has its own great culture. And for nearly 200 years, these people have done a lot to bring back the greatness of Tamil people's way of living and their culture. And we find in the beginning we have the Sittargal, who through their songs brought in many of these Sirthirtha Sinthanegal. And following these Sittargal, we have Ramalinga Vallalar, Bharadiyar, Bharadasan, who through their songs brought in all these Sirthirtha ideas to the people. And then we have Ayodhidasa Pandidar, Tande Periyar, Thiruvi Kalyana Sundarnar. Through their writings and through their speech, they brought in, they used both these weapons to bring in all these Sirthirtha ideas into the people. And people, followers of Tande Periyar like Arinjar Anna, Kalanjar Karunanidhi, Navalar, Nedunchezhiyan, they used their writing, their speech, drama and also movies to educate the people about all these Samuga Sirthirtham. And MGR, being a follower of Arinjar Anna, he used movies, because he was very great personality in movies. He used his movies to bring in all these Sirthirtha Karthagal among the people. And among them we also have Pattukotte Kalyana Sundaranar and Jiva, who did a tremendous work in this. And in 19th and 20th centuries, we find that in India, mainly in Tamil Nadu, there were a lot of Sirthirtha Iyakangal, Pagutarivu Iyakangal and Suyamariyadha Iyakangal, which brought in this rebirth of greatness. And this time only we have a lot of magazines, radio, audio and audio tapes and movies. These scientific inventions helped these great people to spread their ideas among the people very easily. And not only that, there were so many other things also which were the seeds for the rebirth. And when we see that, we find what are the changes which came is, earlier in Tamil Nadu, if two people fall in love on each other, they felt that when they love, their family can start, because their family life is based on the love. And when one person is in love with a girl but she does not reciprocate his love, Tulkapiyar calls it as Kaikile, and he does not give much importance to it. And therefore we understand that in those days Tamil people had they followed a culture where a man and a woman, when they'll fall in love and they'll marry and they live happily together. And child marriage was also there. This happened because Uyar Jadinargal, that is upper class people, they followed the Dharma Sutram and Dharma Satram, and in those books it was said that child marriage is necessary. And because child marriage is according to the Sastram, they gave a lot of value to it. And later on, due to economical reasons also, they started following it. And because of that, a 3-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy were married. But this was totally condemned by the Dravida Iyakam and Communist Iyakam, and people like Periyar, Tirivika, Arinjar Anna were among them who were against this child marriage, and finally child marriage was abolished in Tamil Nadu. Then we have Kudumba Nalathetta Adaravu, that is family welfare systems, where in many countries we find that population is a great problem. In India, where in 1916 we were 30 crore people, but in 2016 we are about 130 crores, and therefore they brought in a lot of, the government brought in a lot of programs, particularly caption saying நாம் இருவர் நமக்கு இருவர், that is we are two for us two, ஒரு குடும்பம் ஒரு குழந்தை, one family one child, like this they started advertising. But there were a few people who were against it because they felt that God will take care of the children, because children are through God. And then it was advocated, that is they started telling that because of the family planning, the women in the house, they will take care of their health, the health will not get spoiled. And not only that, even the financial situation of the family will be better if they have few children and not many. And another thing is we can give good health and good education to the children, and therefore they'll have a bright future. And all the Seerthittavadigal, they supported this, and many people started advertising this, and this had a great success in Tamil Nadu. And Kulakalvi திட்டத்திற்கு எதிர்ப்பு. Kulakalvi means traditional education, that is what your father is doing, same profession will be done by the son. Now what happened is your profession started getting linked with your caste, and it was said that these caste people should do only these profession, and that is the Satra Vidhi, that is the rules according to the Satram, and you should not go beyond it, you should not reject it. But Needhi Katchi, that is Tenindiya Nala Urimai Katchi, in 1920, when they came to power, they brought in the Ida Udikkeedu, பொது கல்வி முறை, and அனைவருக்கும் அரசு வேலை, for everyone government job. And because of this, what happened is this caste people should do this job, that was cut. And even the compulsions which were forced on the caste started losing its power. And there were a few people who were in the politics who did not like it, because in 1953 it was called as Madras Maganam. At that time the chief minister of Congress was Rajaji, and he brought in a new educational policy in all the primary education, where according to it the child will be in the school for half a day, and he will learn the education imparted in the school, and the remaining half a day he will have to be with his father and learn his family professional, that is family profession. And if we see according to it, if a father is working in the temple, the child will also go and learn what to do in the temple. If the father is a farmer, the child will go and learn what he has to do in farming. And if the father is working in a graveyard, the child will go and help the father in the graveyard, and later on he will go and join in that profession. And therefore Dravidar Kazhagam and Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, they were against this Kulakalvi Thittam, and even inside Congress itself many people are against it. And in 1954 Rajaji resigned his post as chief minister, and after him came Kamaraj, who said that this plan will continue. And then we have this Manakoda Edirpu, that is against dowry. Varan means the bride, the groom, and Dachana means something which you give to a people who is of a greater position or who are elder to you. And the money which is given to the bridegroom to marry the girl is called as Varadachanai, that is dowry. And many parents, they wanted their daughters to get married at a very young age, so they started looking out for a suitable groom for her. And rich people were ready to give a huge amount of money for the boy whom they wanted, and this is how dowry started. And what was practiced by these upper class people slowly started spreading everywhere, and in due course it became that dowry was very compulsory, and even the amount started becoming big. A huge amount was demanded as dowry, and because of that many girls were not able to get married, and even getting a good boy became very difficult because there was a lot of demand for the dowry. And there's a song which says திருமணமாகி அக்கால் புகுந்த வீட்டுக்கு சென்றால் நாங்கள் வாடகை வீட்டுக்கு சென்றோம். That is, my sister got married, my elder sister got married, and she went to her in-laws house, and we went to a rented house. That is, they had to sell the house and get a girl married. Situation went to that state, and because of that, these சீர்திருத்த வார்த்தைகள் were against this dowry, and this வரதட்சணை தடுப்பு சட்டம் was brought in 1961, but because it was not enforced very strictly, still now we have this dowry system in Tamil Nadu. Then கலப்பு திருமணம் சாதி மறுப்பு திருமணங்களுக்கு support, that is, giving a girl in marriage or taking a girl in marriage was done under the Koti basis, and புறமண முறை, that is, depending on whether the children like it or the parents will arrange it. And Tamil people always followed the agamanam, that is, the boy and the girl should like each other. That only was followed, and they never allowed them to marry from a different caste, and that was not allowed in the Sathiram also, and this caused a great question mark in the life of the lovers. And what happened is, the சீர்திருத்த வார்த்தைகள், they supported the கலப்பு திருமணம் and சாதி மறுப்பு திருமணம், and they advocated a lot for this. And what happened is, they felt that if people are going to marry, if intercaste marriages are going to become popular, then this caste system can be got rid of, and even government brought in many laws for this. And these marriages which were intercaste marriages were accepted according to law. And according to the government law, what is this கலப்பு திருமணம் is, one person must belong to the lower caste, or they must be a arundadiyar, or they should be a tribal person, and the other person must be from a OC class, and if they are going to get married, means it was accepted as கலப்பு திருமணம். But at the same time, if a backward person or a lower class person, that is SC or ST, if they are going to marry among themselves different religion caste, means that will not be கலப்பு திருமணம், that will be சாதி மாற்று திருமணம். And because of the increase in the number of MNCs in Tamil Nadu, these marriages became more prevalent, because they were working together, they fell in love, and they did not consider their caste as very important, and they got married. And then we have சீர்திருத்த திருமணம் or சுயமரியாதை திருமணம். In Agananuru, the songs 86 and 136 tells us about how marriages were made in those days, conducted in those days. That is, marriages will be conducted in a very simple manner, and the women of that family will be in the front, and they only will get the groom and the bride married. But later on only all these sadangu girl came, and we have the person as Iyer who will perform the marriage. But later on, Dravidam, they started thinking, why should we have all this sadangu and sambradayam? They were against it, and so they encouraged marriages where there were no sadangu or Iyer. They had marriages where the family members and friends will be in the front, and they will get the groom and the bride married. And what happened is, these marriages were not eligible, were not registered according to law, and therefore in 1967, when DMK was ruling, they made that these marriages are accepted by law, and this law is only for Tamil Nadu. And this marriage is also known as Brogidar Maruppu Thirumanam or Porachi Thirumanam. These are the other names for this. And property rights for women. For a long time it was said that women had no rights in the family property, and when they were getting married and going to the in-laws house, what their parents give them or what their siblings give them, that only will be her property, meaning that is immovable property like house and land will not go to the girls. But movable property like jewels or cattle or any other material things, if they give, they can take and go. And according to this, we find that women had no rights in the lands. But in 1929, in Chegalpattu, there was a Suyamariyadai Iyakam, and in that Thandai Periyar, he said that in the ancestral properties, women should have be given equal share. And at that time, this created a lot of ruckus, because people were not willing to accept it. But in 1950, Ambedkar said in the parliament that women should be given property rights, but that that was not successful. It was defeated. And in 1954, it was said that if the husband dies, according to Hindu hair, his wife and sons will get equal share. But even then, in the family property, that is ancestral property, the wife did not have any share. And in 1989, on 25th March, when DMK was in rule, they said that ancestral properties should be shared even for equally among the women. This became a law, and this became a law in Hindu வாரிசு உரிமை சட்டம் தமிழ்நாடு சட்டத்திருத்தம் 1989. And in 2005, the central government also brought in this, saying that women have equal rights in the ancestral property, and that law was brought in 2005. Like this, after many struggles only, women got the equal share from their property, ancestral property. And then Devadasi Murai Odippu. That is, in those days, for temple, they will pray and they will give cattle, hen and all that, and that will be the property of the temple. In the same way, they used to even give girls to the temple, and these girls will do all the work in the temple, and they will do prayers and all that. And they were like Irevan Adime, they were slaves of God, so they were called as Devadasigal. That is, Devar means God, Dasigal means devotees. And this system of giving the girls to the temple was called as Devadasi Murai. In Nayaka's Atchi time, temples, we find that there were hundreds of Devadasigal in the temples. But later on, certain big people who had a lot of money started misusing them. They misused their body and their mind, and these girls who were in the temple had to suffer a lot because they have to oblige these rich people. And when understanding their plight, Sithatavatigal, they were against it. But again, a few people who were used to the system supported it. And in 1930, Muthulakshmi Reddy, along with the support and guidance of Periyar in the Sattamandram, she said that this system should be stopped, but it was not successful, it was defeated. But that the Periyar and Molu Ramanutha Ammayar, through their speech, and Anna and Kalanjar through their writing, they brought in a lot of information about the Devadasi system and how the people were suffering and how it is against the social culture. And therefore, on 9/10/1942, in Madras, it was said that there should be no more Devadasis. There will not be any women in the temple. And it also said that these Devadasis can marry if they have the full rights to marry. And if anyone is going to go and leave their children, that is the girl children, in the temple, it will be considered as a crime and they'll be punished. And therefore, this system also brought in a bring change in the society. Like this, we have தீண்டாமை ஒழிப்பு, கல்வியிலும் வேலை வாய்ப்பிலும் பெண்களுக்கு தனி இடஒதுக்கீடு. that ஊராட்சி மன்றங்களுக்கு for women it is 30% இடஒதுக்கீடு. And financial freedom for women. And we should not insult anyone based on their caste. Like this, many Samuga Marumalarchi came into existence. But even then, even now, we have Anava Kolaigal, that is killing people who are doing intercaste marriage. In order to save their caste, they kill the married couple. And even now we have this degradation of Zadigal, Etrathalvu. All these are still there. But even then, we have this Seethatha Iyakangal and Seethatha Talivargal and Arinjargal. They are bringing in a lot of changes in the society, which will definitely make the Tamil society to stand ahead of all other and feel great again. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.